Hi guys, so this is my recipe for chole or Channa Masala. We're going to start off by grinding up 2 onions. I prefer to use white because they're a bit sweeter, but you can also use red. And then next we're going to grind up 2 tomatoes and 3 or 4 green chilies based on your spice tolerance. I'll also list all the ingredients and measurements in the caption to help you guys out. So we're going to start off with our stove on high heat, and to our pan we're going to add in a few tablespoons of Desi ghee. You might need a bit more if your pan is not non-stick. To this we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds and 1 large tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. If you don't have the paste, you can always grind it up with your onions, and there we've added the onions as well. Now that we've added the onions, we're going to give this a good mix, and we're going to continue to saute this for 10 minutes. It's important to spend time on your tadka because that will have the greatest effect on the final flavor of your dish. After a couple of minutes, you might notice that your tadka is starting to stick to the bottom or burn. You can add in a little splash of water every now and then to prevent it from burning. I probably added in a little bit of water about 3 or 4 times during this process. You'll notice that the color of the tadka starts to change as well. After 10 minutes, we're going to add in the tomatoes and green chilies that we grinded up earlier. We're also going to add in the spices that I've listed on the screen, and we're going to give it all a really good mix. I usually only add about a small teaspoon of salt at the beginning and add in more at the end if I feel like it needs it. Once it's all well mixed, we're going to cover it and let it simmer on low heat for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we're going to give it a good mix and add in a handful of Kasuri Methi along with half a teaspoon of Chaat Masala. We're going to give that a good mix and then add in our boiled chickpeas. I like to boil mine to the point where they're just starting to kind of fall apart. You can use canned chickpeas, however I don't recommend it because they are a bit more on the firm side and you want really soft chickpeas for the perfect chole. Once the chickpeas are added in, we're going to add in our water. I like a thicker gravy, so I add in 2 cups of water. If you'd like it thinner, you can add in 3. Give it all a good mix, and then we're going to cover it and let it simmer on medium heat for the next 15 minutes. During these 15 minutes, we're going to come in and give it a stir about every 5 minutes to make sure it does not burn at the bottom. After the 15 minutes, our chole are done, so we can turn off the heat and add in a handful of cilantro leaves to it. This is actually my favorite sabji ever because there's so many ways you can serve it. With roti, with rice, with samosas, or with puriyan or bhature. In our house, every time we make chole, we have to make puriyan. So for the puris, I like to heat up some vegetable oil in a large kadai. And for the puri, I use the same dough as normal roti. I just make sure it's a bit more on the firm side, and it's been in the fridge for a couple of hours. I like to roll out my puri just a little bit thicker than a normal roti, flip it a few times in my hands to get rid of any excess flour, and then slide it into the kadai. Once the puri is in the oil, you're going to take your strainer or skimmer, and you're going to lightly press down on it as it puffs up. At this point, you want to make sure your oil is on medium-high heat, and this whole process is pretty fast, so you don't want to take your eyes off the puri. Once it's fully puffed up, flip it over to the other side and fry it for about another 30 seconds. And then you want to take it out into some kind of dish that will drain the oil. If you don't have something like that, you can always just line a plate with some paper towels. I usually like to let my puris rest for a couple minutes to really get the excess oil out. And then you can plate it up. I like to serve mine with the chole, some dahi, mango jar, and onions, along with some salted lassi. And there you have it, the perfect chole puriyan. Just look at how good that thali looks. And this is my very picky husband doing a taste test, and he said they were delicious. So please do try out the recipe and come back and let me know if you liked it. Thank you.